All right, keep going. Good.
Where are we up to?
You were saying this morning.
This morning was the biggest self-doubt that I've had.
Do you think what's contributing to that?
Fear. Then you approach things, and the way to overcome fear, 9 times out of 10 in my experience, is to approach things logically. 9 times out of 10, the things that you're afraid of do not have that bad of a worst case scenario. And that's what I'm learning. If you get fired, worst case scenario, you'll get another job. If you break up with your girlfriend that you thought was a lovely life, worst case scenario, you'll be heartbroken for a year, 2 years. If it's any longer than that, then you need to go to therapy. And
Have you heard about? I've had this before, where I'm speaking to some older guys, and they're telling me, "Oh yeah, she's the one that got away. You know, she was just
no
great."
such thing.
What do you mean no such thing?
There's no such thing as the one that got away.
Why not?
Because there's always going to be somebody better than the one that got away. You're just going to find them.
Oh yeah. And I think the guys because that's an experience a lot of guys do have in living in the past and thinking they fucked up and they have regrets about some woman or person that and they let go.
That goes against our fundamental way of thinking, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Living in the past and dwelling on mistakes rather than learning from them and thinking of ways you can learn. It's all a learning experience. You keep making the same mistake, or you wouldn't let the one that got away get away again. So it's not a waste.
Yeah, and the only reason you did let them get away is because you weren't capable of appreciating or understanding or holding on to something of worth.
Critically analysing is something that I've been working on a lot recently.
Okay. Have you got any examples?
My language and my approach to conversations is one that we spoke about. I never used to think about what I was going to say before going into a conversation. And I know that's wild to you. I don't know if I'm alone in this. Tell me. Is it normal to think about what you're going to say before entering a conversation? I don't think most people do.
Really? I actually haven't asked. I don't know. But
you're very strategic. You're very
9 times out of 10,
person.
I'll know how a conversation is going to play out.
Yeah.
It's like a chess game. In my head, I'll run it through.
And that's what I'm starting to do.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's fun, man.
It's fun, right?
It's fun. When you start learning ways to be able to influence what the outcome of a conversation,
Yeah.
that's like a game.
That's
Every
so
conversation becomes a game.
Because you're basically, the way I'll do it, I'll anticipate different paths that the conversation can go down. So I'll think I'll say this thing, and I bet this person's going to say this thing. And then I'll have this thing ready. Because I guess that's true now, because when I do go up against, such a strange phrasing to go up against, but when I have a conversation, everything's a competition.
Imagine if we just want both completely different outcomes, we'll be having a conversation until the dawn of time.
But when I'm speaking with someone, I'll most of the time be able to direct the conversation. And what that tells me is that the other person hasn't actually thought through things as well. Because if you have to think of something on the spot, you're 100% less effective in getting the outcome you want compared to me who's prepped. Like if I'm going into a conversation and I've got 4 different angles and lots of different ways I know the conversation is going to go and I'm anticipating the obstacles you're going to put up, 100% you're completely outmatched.
That's not something that I've reached yet. Getting to predicting what the other person is going to be saying.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like improvising with that because you never really know.
Sure. It depends how well you know, and you have intuition as well. You know someone.
Let's say if you're negotiating, let's use the example of negotiating a pay rise. You know the obstacles that are going to come 9 times out of 10. Okay, the budget's not there. We've got too many people in the company. You've not been working here long enough. We think we can give you one in 6 months. So you can think of objections and how to handle those.
Which is basic sales.
Yeah, but if you're having a conversation about somebody and encouraging them to do something, unless you know them really well, then it can be quite difficult.
So that does require improvisation. Now, what I'll try and do in those instances is align our objectives. So if I want someone to do something, as you already know, it's terrible to just tell them to do it. So I'm trying to walk them towards thinking that they should do this. It's in their best interest. And I'll basically frame the situation, and I'll actually start with it's like basic sales where it's like accentuate the pain points first.
Yeah, sure.
Say, hey, is this something you're struggling with? Like, I've noticed.
Why are you upset?
What's
know
wrong?
why,
yeah.
but you're allowing them
exactly.
to realize
I need them
themselves.
to come to that realization, because when they do, they feel empowered. They're like, oh yeah, that is true. Because people get that little dopamine hit when they have that self-awareness, like, oh yeah, I do have this. And now they've got a little win, and they're also a little bit grateful because you walk them to that. They're like, yeah, Abrams helped me discover this. And then I'll basically step toe to the next one. It'll be like, so do you think there's maybe some solution here? Maybe it's around X, Y, Z. And I'll just slightly nudge. And because
I even don't like saying maybe it's around X, Y, Z, but sometimes you kind of have to, in a way, guide them towards.
Yeah, because you don't want to say, do you want to do this?
Yeah, so maybe you could do, or even that language is pushing it a little bit far.
It depends who the person is as well, you know?
It's true, but the less suggestive you can be, the better.
That's it.
So the more open the questions are, if they align with the things that you want them to say, amazing. You will get people to do what you want them to do without telling them to do it.
And asking the right questions is just such a game changer. I think it takes such tact and skill to be able to ask someone the right question where they come to a realization or conclusion and they're like, yeah, because how crazy is it that I want you to do something, and instead of saying, Matt, do this thing, I will say, Matt, why are you X, Y, Z? Or have you thought about?
Let's use an example. Again, most people are at work. Let's say your manager wants you to do a job and you're managing a group of people and you just tell them to do it. You're paid to do this job, something you hear all the time. Why are you not doing it? You're paid to do it. You're here, you get a salary, the company pays you. One way to break it down was be like, why are you working for this company? Yeah? Like, what's your incentive here? Like, why do you come to work and why do you want to work here? Like, I've got a family that I care about. I want to be hitting my top targets. I want to take care of them. Okay, you've got a pain point. You've got something to emotionally kind of relate to. It's like, what are you struggling with at the moment? You pick apart more things and solutions that you can try to solve by using that. So anything that they're struggling with, maybe give a little bit back and just say, how can we help you with that? And then go back to saying, like, the reason that we want you to do this is because, not even we want you to do this. The reason if you want your family to be...
That's it. I mean, that's a maybe heavy phrase.
Yeah, I know, I was trying to think of it, but...
Because
I shouldn't be a manager anytime.
I know,
I should probably plan it, but...
But that was a great example, because I would basically dig into that a bit more, and the person will say family, right? And then I'll show empathy by saying, tell me about the family. And then maybe that's going to reveal some pain points. Maybe they'll say, oh, the kid, they're struggling for a nanny or something, right? And then I'm like, oh, that's something I can pick up on. And then I'll say, all right, so, hey, it sounds like you're a really considerate guy, and it sounds like you're a family man. I really appreciate that. And, you're a hard worker. I really want to help you support your family even better.
How can we help you support? Yeah, that's better.
And then he's going to be like, oh, maybe the hours, blah, blah, blah. And he's going to give a bunch of suggestions, basically ignore. And then, because I want him to just do this new project that I've got. And I'll say, listen, I want to get you on a fast track to a promotion. And one of the things that's going to look great for that is this new project I've got. It's not even
a lie. It's true. It's
100%
it's a win-win for everybody.
You're just helping them basically understand why both of your priorities are aligned right now. If you do this, you benefit. But people need to have it spelled out for them, and not in a direct way where you could say, if you do this, you benefit. They need to be walked to that conclusion.
It's the same with anything. It's interesting. I've never drawn the similarities between conversations and sales before, but it is. You are absolutely right. It's identifying pain points, which I found myself doing, and then using. Maybe having worked in sales is going to.
The next level that I'm currently playing at the moment is long-term strategic thinking, especially when it comes to like what I'm doing and especially how it relates to other people, because other people are super unpredictable in what they can do. So
as we're discovering.
Yeah, and I'll try and think of, all right, I want to end up in, let's say, I want to move out the apartment or somewhere in the next 6 months, right? What are the things that are going to facilitate that? Well, I currently can't live on my own. So I need to find a flatmate, but that's such a roll of the dice, right? I do not want to move in with a random. So let's think about, all right, who can I hang out with? Well, I do like hanging out with Matt, and then I'll think...
So it was part of a strategy for you to get a house.
I'll think, all right, I could actually live with Matt, but he's actually chilling right now. He's having a good time, he's partying, and he's training, and because I tried to suggest it previously, just nudging it, see where it was at, and you were pretty chill. And I was like, all right, so I need to really get Matt on board here. So then I started basically planting some ideas. I was like, Matt, I'm killing it with this business. It'd be great if you did something together, and then occasionally be like, you could 100% do it. And then I helped you to the realization. I was like,
been played.
But no, in this case, it worked out really well for us both, because
that's good.
In this case, our priorities are aligned, and it's in both of our best interests.
Man, how can I be annoyed about that? Like I've had some through your mentorship, you're older than me. You've learned lessons that I've not learned. And I think a lot of people refuse to listen to people, which is a huge character fault. The fact that I've listened to you and analysed what you've said and come to the conclusion myself with your help of things that I now completely have reframed my way of thinking is a blessing.
How vastly has the trajectory of your life been changed over the past, let's say, 3 months?
The last 3 months.
Well, I guess the Ironman was probably pretty steady, but then I think probably the last month especially, maybe last few weeks, that's a pretty drastic shift in like direction.
It's purpose. When I went away, I really thought about...
This was in Morocco.
And it made me think about for the business as well. I'm going to have to appeal to people's purpose of why they're doing things and their core motives. There's this guy called Carl Jung, who I've been looking into, that studies addiction. You've got to pick apart people's root desires and what they completely want to do. You can't just tell someone to stop smoking. You've got to think about why they want to stop smoking. For me, there's links between smoking, anxiety and depression. And I have previously struggled with anxiety, and I know smoking doesn't make it any better. Regardless of that, you just get an instant hit of dopamine, so your brain's always craving that. I know that these two things aren't good for me, and the direction that I want my life to go in, they can't be a part of that.
Yeah.
The longer I keep it in my life, it's just going to be chipping away at my potential. And that's the motivator that's been able to make me stop smoking. It's the same when you're trying to encourage anyone to do anything, as we've discussed. Purpose. Discovering your purpose and the reasons why you're trying to do something is the only thing in my eyes that's going to make you do them for the long run. And that's something that is really a lesson that I've learned over the last month or so.
Do you think you have a clear sense of purpose now?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's a few. To be free is the main one. So all of the things that I was thinking about, whether it's something that I've enjoyed within music or something that I've enjoyed within traveling, or the things that I've genuinely really enjoyed doing, are only possible to do all the time if you work for yourself. So that's the priority. Is as long as I'm working for somebody else, I'm not going to be able to do the things that I enjoy doing all the time, or as much as I want to.
Freedom is basically mine as well, but the high level above freedom is self-expression. So much of how we exist day to day is limited and boxed in because we don't have the freedom to be ourselves. You can't say what you want at work, you can't do what you want at work. Even within, let's say, the place that you live, like you have to tolerate and act in a certain way and therefore limit yourself and who you are fully, because for a start, you can't afford to live on your own, or you can't afford to just like say or do whatever you want. And so I think what happens is it chips away at your authenticity, because you keep like saying, I have to fit into societal expectations to what the situation calls for because I don't have an alternative.
This is like the tenancy agreement.
Yeah, right. So like we're stuck in this situation. We're having to play these stupid games because we can't afford not to.
To just pay 6 months rent and fuck off somewhere else.
And it just feels like a cage at this point.
Yeah.
And that feeling is so unacceptable to me that my single goal now is to never feel boxed in like that again.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. That's something that people don't think about because you're so accustomed to it.
Yeah, you just think it's normal, but if you take a step back and think, wait a minute, is this an acceptable way to live the rest of my life?
It makes you think which way society will head when things become more and more automated. Do you think there will be more freedom for people or not?
Man, freedom is a weird one because I don't even think people realize they don't have much freedom because they're being programmed and conditioned through the algorithms and through dopamine hits with junk and social media fast food. And what happens is you basically become like a zombie.
Imagine if somebody ate organic foods, did loads of exercise, basically ate, slept and exercised as we're designed to for like 3 months, and how much their outlook on things would change and their mindset was changed. Do you think they would all wake up?
Exercise is always the first pillar.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in our experience it has been.
There's just so many knock-on benefits to having the discipline to do something uncomfortable day after day. It
Yeah.
builds that self-confidence because if you think, wait a minute, if I can turn up and push myself physically at the gym every day, what else can I do that I haven't been doing? Maybe I can apply for that new job or start that new project. It's just such an easy way to build confidence.
I think it alters your brain chemistry so much.
And of course, the physiology improves.
Yeah.
Your blood flow, your cardio, everything gets better. You can think more clearly. And that's, I guess, the one thing I try and hold consistent day to day is clear thinking. Anything that starts to fuck with my mental acuity, I'm like, this is not good. Because I notice the consequence of it so immediately. If I'm slightly off, my brain is like, oh, let's just have a little vape. Let's just go get some coffee. Let's just do this thing. And I'm like, gone.
It takes one thing for me. And everything else falls apart now. And it's so hard. If you let your standards drop even a little bit, it's so easy to let them drop more.
I think other people do find it easier to have balance, but it's because they're not as manically wired. Where, for me, if I'm not pushing myself and trying to squeeze every last drop out of the day, I feel dissatisfied.
I go completely the other way as well. I will not give up, but I'll just do things that make me worse. If I do one thing that makes me worse,
that spiral,
I'll do more things that make me worse. I don't think I'm an anomaly in that sense. I think most people, having done one thing that they know is bad for them, will continue to mistreat themselves and do worse things for themselves.
Can you pop that door? I'm sweating here.
Yeah, it is warm. We had some more talking points on the...
Yeah, I got it.
On the episode. Not that we've needed them for the last...
This is good freestyling.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
I'm realizing the reason the pod was maybe dipping in the past was because life was a little bit stagnant. But now that things are so turbulent and there's like wild shit happening on a weekly basis, we've got enough material to just document what's going on.
But also because of how manic it is, we've not had a choice but to be 200% dialed in.
Yeah.
Because previously there may have been a weekend where we went out to go for drinks.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, or even after a podcast episode, we got into a disgusting habit of drinking wine after, which just was stupid. You know, we've removed everything like that now for 2, 3, 4 months. Is it? I don't know.
There was that dip after initially of things being a little slow, but I think since then I'm feeling pretty amazing.
It makes you think what we'll feel like in 4 or 5 months.
I feel like what happens is the floor just gets raised more and more on the minimum you're able to do.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So even on my worst state, I'm super productive. And I think that's probably what it is. I remember reading this thing that was like, your output isn't really on your best days. Over time, where you really lose out is your worst days, where you basically not just not make progress, but you actually move backward. So it was like, if you can eliminate all the days where you're basically doing destructive things, don't worry about being super productive on the rest. Just worry about eliminating the negatives. You'll basically blast past everyone else.
It's just consistently watering the garden, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. We've got to be looking at loads of different things. Like, you're working on multiple projects at once, as am I. You know, we've got a lot to be doing. And to continually be working on all of those and make progress in all of those areas, you've got to be at it most days, if not every day, which is hard. And it doesn't allow room for any alcohol. It doesn't allow room for vaping if that's going to affect me negatively.
I don't think everyone's cut out for this kind of life.
I watched the School of Hard Knocks again this morning, and there's this guy who was in a private jet. He made his net worth increased by 85 million last year.
That's pretty crazy.
Right.
How old was he? Old guy?
Yeah, he was broke. He had $78 to his name. He was about I imagine he was about 32, 33 at that time.
He was broke when he was 32, 33.
Yeah.
Nice, that gives me hope, because even though I'm like 29, I'm like, damn, I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
Because my benchmark for success is so crazy.
But, man, think about all the lessons that you've learned in that time. There's no other way than the way. But it's the way it's happened, you know.
The minimum bar for success that I've defined, sometimes I've like tell someone and they'll think, you're so crazy. Like, they'll laugh.
What's that?
The minimum bar that I've basically defined for success, that I'll tell people sometimes. They'll be like, you're crazy.
What is that?
It's like a multi-million-pound mansion and a Ferrari. Anything less than that and I'll feel like an abject failure.
Yeah. If I'm not a millionaire.
Next 5 years are going to be huge.
Yeah, 100%. There's no alternative. There is no alternative now.
It's kind of freeing. I read this quote one time that said, fate is doing willingly that which you must do.
Fate is doing willingly that which you must do.
Yeah, and I feel like this is my fate now. It's like I've chosen this, even though I have no choice anymore. It's like I've accepted it. And there's something freeing about that. It's like, this is it.
I guess in so many ways it's uncertain, but there's one thing grounding everything. That is, whatever happens, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
So you remove the doubt in that sense, because you're like, again, this morning when I was going through my doubt, I said, and I've got no alternative. What is the alternative to feeling like I'm going to give up? Like going back to...
Do you want to go back to your job? Huh?
Fuck no.
That's all, and that's the thing. This is, in the early days, I would ask myself that. I'd be like, oh, Abram, if you have some doubts, do you want to go back, work with someone? Do you want to just like fucking throw in the towel?
I was like, I'm feeling bad. I'm not had much sleep. I'm hungry.
I like calling myself out on those moments because I'm like, all right, so what do you want to do? You want to whine about it? You want to go like quit?
That's such a big motivator. Because I honestly, you saw
right?
me this morning, man. I was feeling low. I thought my head was groggy, but it was just my way of thinking. I had so much doubt because I made a few slip-ups yesterday. And that doubt was eliminated when I said that this will happen. There is no alternative.
It's so crazy how you can think something and all of it goes away.
Man,
how crazy is that?
I feel great now.
Is that not? I feel like the mind is so powerful where you can. It works in both ways, right? As you're seeing the yo-yo effect of starting to have one bad habit or action or thought, and then you think, wait a minute. Could it get worse? Maybe it will get worse. Oh my God, maybe I'm wasting my time. Fuck, this is so... And then spiraling. And then the other side is just like, fuck all of that. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it would have looked like it was me 6 months ago. This morning, the difference is insane. But yeah, you're 100%
It's just
right.
a constant exercise in self-awareness. You just wake up and you're like...
Your mind's a muscle, isn't it?
You just wake up and like, how am I doing today? All right, Abraham has some doubts today. I'm going to make sure those don't get in the way. You're basically like a self-correcting machine all the time.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that.
I try and distance myself from what's going on and be like, hold on a sec. Are these thoughts normal? Am I just panicking? What's going on here?
You need to pick apart the reasons why you're thinking these things. I think that's what it boils down to. And then going back to what we said earlier, thinking about the worst thing that could possibly happen is that you work for a little bit longer, save some more money, and make it work in a little bit more time.
What is the worst circumstance you could tolerate, do you think?
In what sense?
In your living circumstances. Because I'll give you some context. For me, I would be okay with living out of a car and sleeping like in the gym parking lot and then like showering at the gym. I've thought about that and be like, yeah, I could do that.
I'd rather work for a bit longer, save some money to pay rent. Time's important for me, but as is, I don't know. That's a very intense way of reaching the goal. I mean, your motivation would be high, but then you've got to think about Wi-Fi, where you're going to charge your laptop. Things like that.
The
library, I suppose.
Yeah, the practical issues are not really there. The real issue is, are you chained to comfort? Because
yes,
practically, I'm sure you'll find this, like, you don't really need that much. I've been in situations where circumstances have been pretty dire, and my general happiness is kind of consistent. Like, sure, it's great living where we do, but it doesn't have that much of an impact. I kind of like it, but more so just for the peace of mind and no distractions. But for the most part, it doesn't, like, I think for women it's different, right? For them it does impact them a lot more, but for guys, especially if you're dialed in, it's like, I could sleep on the floor or in a nice bed, I'll be all right. And having that resilience, I think, makes you basically indestructible in any arena. You go in somewhere, you're like, fuck it, I don't need any of these things. I'll just get the work done.
It makes you think, doesn't it, how comfortable we are.
Yeah, this is what I'm always trying to catch myself and saying, am I sacrificing progress because I'm unwilling to let go of some comforts?
I think a lot of people would say yes, that have been successful.
Like eating out.
Like the only thing, if you were to speak to, say, doing the School of Hard Knocks thing, if you were to go around and ask the last 50 interviewees for their advice, how many of them do you think would say sell your car and invest in the business?
I don't know. Do you think all of them?
Most. Because one thing I saw, a few recurring themes in there is risk. And that's a
true.
risk.
I saw this.
You got to be willing to risk it all. So this guy fucking leveraged his house.
That's big risk.
Yeah.
There was this thing that tracked Musk's rise. So he sells PayPal for like 200 mil. And most people, when they get to that stage, they're like making themselves a safety net. They're like, I'm sorted. I'm going to basically do a little investment here and there, but like hold on to it. he basically invests all of it in 3 different companies: SpaceX, Tesla, and I think Boring Company. And at that point, he's like all in. Imagine going all in after making 200 mil. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
And
You've got to have such a degree of self-confidence, but also you've got to have some serious cojones.
right? Like and I'm here thinking, I kind of don't want to sell my shitty car.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm here saying,
Right?
oh, I've only got fucking however much to...
Yeah, you only got 12 months runway.
Yeah.
And when I see that, I'm like, fuck, man. The reason these people are able to do that...
You sell your car, I'll quit my job. Oh, that's a fucking hard bargain, that.
Live on the pod.
Yeah. So I'll ring them.
You'll hand in notice, yeah.
If you sell your car... Oh, but what are we going to do about the living situation? Do you think we can find a way around that? I mean, there is one thing that we could do, which is go and live with my parents. We could
go and live with your parents.
We could
man.
go and live with my parents.
That is definitely one of the craziest suggestions ever.
It'd be an Inverness. There'd be no distractions. That is something that we could do if we didn't get accepted anywhere. If we're both unemployed and we have no money, because who's gonna want us as a tenant? Who's gonna want us as a tenant?
You can definitely find private landlords.
Which private landlord in their right mind? You know, squatters' rights in the UK. You cannot get evicted for like 6 months.
Yeah, I'm thinking if we go to some shithole village and then offer to pay cash rent.
There'll be a way.
The thing is, I'm not sure where I'd invest it, you know? It's like I'd have to think.
Man, there's things like every day where you're like, I could do it, it would help, but I'm not got the money. Or it's a subscription that I would help me.
So the only reason I wouldn't do it is because the convenience of the car is nice, and the car is my safety net for survival. It's like if I run out of cash, I can cash that thing in, and then I can still survive.
You don't have to spend it all. You can buy another car as well. We could even split a car and split the insurance.
Well, you know what a Brabus is?
No.
All right, Brabus is like a tuning coach company.
Man, my heart's going now.
About the quitting thing.
Everything. I bet yours is as well.
No, I'm pretty steady. All right, let me think. $6,000. What could I do with that?
You can pay off my bank loan. I might try to take out another loan.
You might try and take out another loan.
With HSBC for like 10k. And
do what with it?
Runway. I'm scared about... I don't even want to say this on the pod.
You're not allowed to say it. Those thoughts are not allowed to be verbalized.
Okay.
Should I say? The thing is, if I found, to be fair, there was this one thing I was telling you about the other day that was about 7 to 10k. Do you remember? About the AI stuff.
We've spoken about a lot of things, dude.
Anyway, there is something that's about...
Oh, yeah.
About 10k. So we could split that.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
And then we'd split that and go in on that.
Man, with what?
With what? When I sell the car.
Yeah, but what about me? Where am I getting this from?
The loan you've got, man.
And then what are we going to live on?
You've got enough for 6 months.
Not if I splash 5k. But also, let's focus on the courses that we're doing now. I'm
trying to think where I would put that right now, because I'm not really in a position to hire. If I found something that I really thought I'd needed money for.
So now we've thrown it out there and we're getting serious about it.
It's not like I'm not averse to it. I'm actually open to this idea.
But did you think it was a good idea before it started realizing? What? So you said...
Oh, basically it stemmed from my thinking that what does it mean to be all in? It means that everything you have, financially, time, resources, is in your business.
The biggest interest for you selling the car would not to be the safety net. That would be the biggest advantage to you doing it, regardless of
The biggest advantage is not having a safety net.
Yeah.
That's an advantage. Since when is not having a safety net an advantage?
Because your ball's on the line. We're talking about Musk. He doesn't have a safety net at 200 mil. Well, it kind of does, a bit more than...
But that's an investment. Why would I just sell the car? Just to make things harder for myself. In which case, maybe I should I should patch one eye and wear like an eye patch, so I only have to do that. Right?
That's a good idea, man.
And then I'll make it harder for myself again. There's got to be a reason,
make
right?
yourself
It'd be a bet.
more inclined because you've got to... You'll have nothing to fall back on.
No,
if
I'll
things
have
don't go
6K in
wrong.
the bank. That's actually even easier.
So you'd push...
I'd push less.
So how much of that 6K could you see yourself using in a business sense now?
I'd probably find a lot of use for it. If I sat down and was like, all right, where can I just outsource or use some software or pay for whatever?
It would make you a lot more efficient and reach your goals faster.
Potentially.
It'd improve the quality of all your content.
Yeah, I mean, for a start, I would just pay for a high quality editor.
Okay.
That would be the big one, actually.
That's going to be expensive.
Yeah, if I just had a high quality editor, they're about $30 a pop.
How many more clients do you think that's going to get you?
Potentially none.
Do you think?
Yeah. So that's the gamble here. It's that content doesn't pay off always.
I saw that, yeah.
Right? Like I can spend 1,000 on here. No gain. That's why it's a gamble.
It's a risk.
And the alternative is use that as a safety net or a runway.
The other risk is that we might not be able to get... sorry, go.
Yeah, the other alternative is don't spend it on a fucking editor and just use that to survive off of for another month.
Which
So
is
if
going
I'm
to be more
thinking-
beneficial.
Right? So now I got to think strategically. Where is the best place to put that money?
Do you think... So the alternative would be using it to increase your living expenses, which is another 6 months.
Yeah, so I can survive for another, like that's not nothing.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Sure.
Because it's a luxury now.
Well, mine shouldn't be pivoting on yours. I should just do it.
What would be the reason not to?
Nothing. There is none.
You'll have less runway.
Well, yeah, but I shouldn't need that much. And if I run out of runway, I'll just get someone else.
It's true. Like we go back to what is your like backup or contingency plan? Get another job. And it doesn't even have to be a full-time sales job. You could just work at a cafe or hospitality for like a weekend every now and then.
Yeah. I would have monetized it hopefully to some degree by then, but who knows. Scary, but this is a risk that...
The big thing preventing it is getting this new apartment.
That is a serious problem. We're kind of just talking about our lives like in quite a lot of detail.
Hold up. We're like 40 minutes. This is going to be a pain to cut and tidy up. So let's just call it and we can just carry on strategizing.
Yeah,
off
and
camera.
then we can play it if we want. Should we get a coffee?
Goodbye, guys. Thanks for tuning in.